off my bed and put it on my back. I'm live. It says I'm live. Hopefully, somebody will come on and prove to me that it's live. So, anyway, good morning from my mobile homestead. Anyway, yeah. So, today is Monday, the 7th, and I am waiting until 10:30 so I can do advisory with my classroom. But in the meantime, I'm awake and I've eaten breakfast. Assuming Java sorts, because that's mostly caffeine. And yeah, so I have my Chromebook that I use at work, little ThinkPad, and I'm giving it a try for using as my to go live. So please comment or something to tell me that you're here and that you see me and all that cool stuff. That's what I want to do. Hello. It is 8:34 here in California, which means it's later everywhere else pretty much. It's 2 hours later in Texas, I know that. Back east, it's 3 hours later, so you guys are already into your day. Oh my goodness, my body is killing me. Killing me, Smalls, killing me. I have been painting my cabinets blue, the walls yellow. I've been working in my garden because I need to get it together. I have horrible things that have occurred in my garden. First of all, I haven't touched it in a while. Part of it is because so if you are on and you can see me, comment please and let me know that you can hear me and you can see me and all that cool stuff. That would be cool. I appreciate it. Thanks. Okay, so garden. So in my garden, like a couple years ago, I set it up with my raised beds. I have my watering system. I'm going to leave the way it is, but I set up my raised beds. Sorry, I'm a little bit tired. I set up my raised beds. Come on, Candy, finish your thought. And I bought this cheap raised bed soil by Kellogg. Oh my God. That is like cruddy stuff. Total crap. Don't buy it. I think it's Home Depot's brand, but it's horrible. Really bad. So my first year just plain sucked for a garden. Then my second year, I amended the soil with steer manure and chicken manure, and it did a little bit better, but it still kind of sucked. Good morning, Rowan. Thank you for putting pants on. So I amended it, and it did a little bit better, but not a lot. You know, my stuff out in my community garden was doing way better, but and they weren't even really using soil that was like put in. They were using, it was just dirt that's up there, but everything grows up there. So, but the hard part for me is that I have lupus, which affects my skin big time. So going out in the sun, it doesn't just affect my skin. It makes me nauseous and gonna be tired. Excuse me, guys. And makes me dizzy and, you know, stuff like that. So it was really hard for me to work in the garden, you know, especially between work and everything too. So and away from the house, and there wasn't always water over there. So, you have to like figure that out. So right now they're revamping the whole community garden, which I think is a great thing. The new manager is setting that up, and she's trying to level it out a little bit so that the ground will be a little bit more easily manageable for older people with not so steady a gait. And the raised beds were all put together with, reclaimed wood. So she wants to make it taller so it's easier for us older people who have a hard time getting all the way down on the ground. Because when I get down on the ground, it hurts for me to be on my knees. So I have to sit down on my butt while I'm working in my garden. So I'll like put a mat on the ground so that I can scoot along on my mat on my butt, because knees, too much damage on my knees from young years of jumping off cliffs and landing on them and horsey stuff and you name it. So yeah. So yeah, that's that. And then now with this whole COVID thing, they haven't been working on that community garden at all. And at this rate, we're not going, I mean, I have a couple weeks to be able to get my plants in the ground, and they're not going to have anything set up until like late June, July, maybe. And I need to get my stuff in the ground now. So revamping my front yard to have, I'm actually going to put, I got some garden soil. So I'm actually just going to work the ground and work the garden soil in, and have a garden right there on the ground, because the raised beds weren't cutting it. Just, I don't know what it was. It was either water was running right on out, or I don't know, it just wasn't doing well. And right now it's like full of weeds. So if weeds when I first got that, my front yard set up so that I could, when I first got my yard set up so that I could have a garden in there, I'm sorry, I got distracted. What's my situation? What am I saying? Stop it. Shh. Okay. Garden. When I got first set up my garden, nothing would grow in there, not even weeds. So, no, nothing would grow in there, not even weeds. And now I can, I've got weeds all over the place, and I've got other things growing too, which is great. But the soil looked a lot better. I just dug a hole yesterday for a fruit tree that I bought the other day. I bought a nectarine. I'm going to do one nectarine, one plum. I don't have a big area. One apple and one apricot. I have to find out if apricot's going to do okay up here, because I get snow and frost. So then I'll get the apricot. But I promised my husband we would do an apricot, because he had an apricot tree that he absolutely loved when he was a kid. And he said, when we buy apricots at the store now, they're like this big. And he said, actually, if you do it right, an apricot will be like the size of a peach. And he said that they would, like slow water it for several hours, and it would just bust out with these huge, sweet apricots. And he said he would climb up inside that tree, sit up there and mow down on apricots. And he said that the apricots that you buy in the store now are flavorless orbs of fruit, and he just doesn't see the point of even wasting money on buying them. So we're going to work on growing apricots. And I want apple because I like to use apple for a lot of things, but I also like to bake with them. So I'm looking for an apple that I can bake with and eat. So we'll see. Green apples are great for baking, but they're not so great for eating. And then, of course, nectarine. I really like nectarines. And plum is delicious. So, and I know those will do okay up here because I had them in another house I lived in up here. I had all those three, the apple, the nectarine, and the plum. I haven't had an apricot, so we'll have to find out. Anyway, the ground is looking pretty decent, and I filled the hole with water last night to see how fast the water would leave because it's kind of a clay combination in there, but it only took like maybe 30 minutes for it was this deep, and it took maybe 30 minutes for it to leave. So that's not bad. That's a pretty good rate. Because at first the water was just still sitting in there when I put it in. I was like, oh no, I think we're going to have to get some gypsum. But I think it's going to be okay. So we're A-okay as far as that goes. And I'm going to leave 2 of my raised beds in on the end because I'm going to do lettuce over there. It gets kind of shady, and lettuce just can't handle the direct heat, and it's been hot here. And in the summertime, it gets really, really hot. And then, I have some ideas on the inside part of the yard. Got a new umbrella for my table. But for the outside of my yard, I have some more ideas. I have those raised beds that my granddaughter painted. But I'm going to have to do something different with them because the ones that were drawers, I upcycled drawers. It had like a veneer type on it. And what happened was the veneer is warping away from the box. So either I'll have to get it wet when I'm watering and screw down the veneer or put something else in. I'm kind of leaning towards put something else in just because I want it to be a little bit more, I don't know, fancier looking, I guess. I don't know. I need to paint my fence. I did not treat it, like not Thompson's, I use Olympia. The Olympia stuff that we put on our fence has done a great job at keeping it from becoming discolored and warping and stuff like that. But what I didn't do, that I have slats on my fence that are pine, and then the posts are that treated stuff. Well, the treated stuff is fine, but the slats that I have running across are not. They little bit warped, and they have like darkened, like blackish, not black, but gray. They look kind of like grayish. And so if I put the Olympia on it, because I saw that it happened on another part near my fence. That same thing happened, that they turned gray, and we put the Olympia on it, and it's just permanently gray. And I don't want that. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and paint the fence white and go with that. We do like the natural wood look when possible, but if we're not going to be smart about it, we are just going to have to throw some paint on it. And, like I said, paint's going to give it some protection. So I'm only going to be on here for, let me see, it's been 15 minutes and it's 8:47. So I'm okay right at the moment. As far as time goes, I do have my class that I have to work with. Hi, Rowan.
Where's the phone?
The phone? Look in my room. It's not hung up. Oh. Will you go grab the deep blue off the bed and the other stuff?
Where it is.
It's right on the bed, please.
Right now.
Please. It's in plain sight on my bed. So yeah, he's going to put some deep blue on me a little bit later because I have thrashed myself by getting out of shape and not going out and working. My body just is having a hard time. It has a hard time anyway because of my fibromyalgia, but there's things that need to get done, and I haven't been able to get them done. First, we were having to stay in, partly because of the whole COVID thing, and partly because it was freezing up here. I mean, if I lived down in town, it was okay outside. It wasn't raining or anything like that, but up here we were still getting frost, and it was really rainy and wet and cold, and just like even putting my heavy coat on, I still had my hands. I needed to be able to do stuff. So yesterday I started rearranging stuff on my deck and working on getting things organized out there, which is a humongous mess right now. I started organizing and then I stopped. I put everything, I just like put everything on hold. So now it's time. Can you find it? It's on my side of the bed. You're a poop head. It is too on my side of the bed, poop head. You're a poop head. Don't steal that. What? So you saw that, but you didn't see anything else? Correct. Liar.
That's the only thing that I saw.
Right.
I was like, hey.
You may use that. That's why I pulled it out. My son hurt his wrist quite some time ago. He just went to the doctor recently and they said they don't think it's broken, but it hurts a lot. So, but they told him not to use the carpal tunnel type brace. So I have another brace, but so he's taking off the ace bandage. Hey, close the pin on that ace bandage so that, no, we're going to have to wash it. You got it pretty dirty, but put the pin. No, go ahead and close it in on the ace bandage. Yeah, you did. Doesn't matter. It still needs to be washed. So that's my day. That's my morning. That's my life. Yeah. So I don't know when I'm going to be able to go back to work, but I do work here from home. I put in as many hours as I can. And for the most part, I sit here at my Chromebook and we do what's called advisory with our students. And we do where we just mainly go over their playlist and we talk to them and do check in and make sure they're doing okay, how they're feeling emotionally, stuff like that. Then we do these office hours so that I can help them out. And I send out emails to the students, like especially the ones that don't show up. And on Friday, I sent emails to parents letting them know your student has not been following directions. So, well, following directions to a degree because they're not in the classroom. The only thing they're not doing is just logging on and attending. And a lot of them don't want to have their camera on, which I totally understand. I mean, nobody can get their hair cut. Well, some kids can because their parents are just but yeah. So we're 20 minutes in and I have no visitors. So I'm probably going to close this out. It's getting a little bit boring talking to myself. And then maybe I'll try it again. And I'll see how this comes out because it's going to show up in my queue. And then if it looks okay, then I'll be doing it again from the Chromebook. It looks okay to me. I don't know how it is for anybody else. So anyway, thanks for listening. Love you guys. God bless.